that cheap used handgun might not be a deal. It might be another man's problem wearing a discount tag. I watched a guy this morning almost buy one because the price looked friendly. No extra mags. Unknown round count. Slide felt dry. The clerk kept smiling like that made the gun honest. That is the trap with used handguns in 2026. New pistols got expensive, so the used case starts looking smart. But cheap does not mean safe. Old does not mean proven, and clean under glass does not mean a damn thing if the last owner dumped it because it started acting weird. So this is not a classic handgun list. These are 7 used pistols I still take seriously after age, parts, mags, holsters, wear, and real market pressure. And the last one, I've seen it beat to hell and still trust it more than half the shiny new pistol sitting beside it. The guy 2 lanes over was already mad before I even noticed him. Quiet indoor range west of Fort Worth, after work, everybody tired fluorescent lights, making every pistol look uglier than it was. He kept muttering that his brand new polymer gun was too snappy, like saying it enough times would fix the recoil. Meanwhile, I had a Beretta PX4 Storm in my hands. And that weird little Italian football was just rolling along, not pretty, not cool, but flat, soft, and boring in the best way. During ceasefire, he asked if I wanted to trade for his almost new striker gun plus cash. I laughed, then he said he had a PX4 under the bench, bought years ago, carried a little, parked ever since. That got my attention. We cleared it on the cleaning table and field stripped it right there. I checked the rotating barrel, locking surfaces, extractor, crown, decocker, and slide lock. Then I ran his mags through it. No mystery hiccup, no lazy return. Everything felt tight. We landed at $395 with 2 extra mags. That is why the PX4 still works used in 2026. The market punished it for looking strange, not for failing. Still, if the controls feel mushy or the barrel looks chewed up, I walk. I drove home, wondering why he replaced it with something worse. Stovepipe number 3 did it. The guy quit blaming ammo and stared at his hands like they sold him out. Outdoor range near Austin 3 weeks ago. Brand new micro compact on the bench. Fresh plastic case beside it. Confidence leaking into the dirt. Then he dug out a CZP-10C with holster marks, a dirty grip, and maybe 800 rounds on it. Not pretty, not special. Just a used compact most guys scroll past because it does not give them that shiny box buzz. He handed it over. Same cheap FMJ. A couple of defensive loads. Dust on the bench. Sweaty hands, it's flapping around in the wind. We ran 50 rounds fast enough to make the new gun look stupid. The CZ did nothing dramatic. That was the point. No stovepipe, no weak cough, no dead pause where everybody politely looks away. Then he said he paid $375, and I got irritated. That is why a used P10C still makes sense in 2026. Somebody else can wear the finish down, and the gun still has work left in it. I checked trigger reset, slide lock, and mags before cash moves. Cheap turns stupid fast when small problems follow you home. The next one bothered me for the opposite reason. I wanted price to beat it, but boring support kept winning. Used Glock 19. Gen 5S are dangerous because everybody thinks the name makes every dumb modification harmless. It does not. I saw 2 of them in a used case side by side, and the cooler one looked like a trap with sights. One had the whole kitchen table special. Cheap flat trigger, angry stipple job, magwell hanging off it, mystery slide parts, optic cut chewed up like somebody learned with a dull tool. Seller talked about it like every scar added $50. I kept hearing one sentence in my head. When I buy used, I do not want another man's personality installed inside my pistol. The other Gen 5 looked boring enough to ignore. Stock trigger, normal holster wear, factory mags, no drama, no part story. Just a black Glock that had done Glock things and survived the owner leaving it alone. No, I would not overpay just because it says Glock. Plenty of used Gen 5s are priced like new ones fell off the planet. But a clean, mostly stock Glock 19 Gen 5 still belongs here in 2026 because everything around it exists. Mags, holsters, sights, parts, repairs, resale. Support is the value. Boring is the safety check. The custom one looked better under glass. The plain one made me feel less stupid. What came after made the money hurt in a different way because old premium steel gets tempting once the price finally drops close enough to touch. Honestly, the problem with a SIG Sauer P226 is the good ones and the worn out ones both feel expensive for the first 10 seconds. That is what almost got me in Dallas. Mid-July heat, coffee shop parking lot, cash in my pocket, sweat already sticking my shirt to the seat. The seller opened the tailgate and laid out a plain 9mm P226. No Legion badge, no fake collector story, just old alloy, black grips, silver showing on the high spots. I picked it up and hated how fast my brain started negotiating against me. That weight feels honest. The decocker feels serious. The double action pull makes newer pistols feel a little toy-like if you let your ego run loose. And at $675, it starts whispering stupid things. Old SIG quality. New plastic money. Take it before somebody else does. That is how people get clipped. Night sights were dim. Mags were not cheap. A weak recoil spring or chewed up rails would turn the whole deal into parking lot regret. So I slowed down and looked for the stuff the name tries to hide. Bore was bright. Rails had wear, not damage. Lockup felt solid. Decocker dropped clean. That is where the P226 earns a useless spot in 2026. The right one still feels like old money beside a lot of new plastic. The wrong one just lets you pay premium price for another man's miles. The S&W M&P9 M2.0 Compact scared me because it looked too honest to be a deal. Deals usually wink at you. This thing just sat in the used case with holster shine, worn edges, and a grip texture that looked like it had already chewed through 3 cover shirts. There were prettier guns beside it. Cleaner slides, brighter sights. Boxes that made the buyer feel like he discovered something. The M&P looked like it had been working while those guns posed for pictures. Clerk said it came out of a security trade-in batch. That changed the whole read. Not abused, used. Big difference. I handled it slow. Trigger reset was there. Slide finish looked carried, not dragged behind a truck. Mags were honest. Night sights were getting tired, but not dead enough to kill the deal. Well, got cheaper without getting less useful. Not bargain bin cheap. Not close enough to new price to make me feel stupid. Just that smart middle where a working gun loses shine before it loses purpose. The flaw is real. That grip can sandpaper your side. The trigger is not pretty. And some trade-ins look rough for a reason. But a good used M&P still carries, trains, and sits ready without asking new gun money for the privilege. What came after felt older, uglier, and somehow harder to argue with. The HKU SP 9mm pissed me off before I touched it. Slow weekday at an indoor range. Lights buzzing overhead. And this ugly brick was sitting on a rubber mat with a sale tag that still acted like it had lawyers. Not cheap, not sleek, not modern enough to flatter anybody. Big grip, chunky slide, old controls, boxy frame. It looked like a pistol that skipped every design trend on purpose and dared you to complain. I wanted the price to give me a reason to walk away. Then I racked it. No loose clack. No tired slap. No sad little shake from 20 years of being passed around. The damn thing felt younger than it looked, and that annoyed me. Old guns are supposed to help you say no. This one just sat there acting like time had bad aim. I ran it waiting for the catch. It never showed up. Not fast, not slick, just mean, heavy, boring confidence, like the gun had zero interest in my opinion. Do not get stupid with one. USP mags hurt. The controls feel dated. The grip does not care about small hands. I check recoil feel, barrel wear, safety, decocker, and every magazine before the HK name bullies the price higher. But a clean, used USP still belongs here in 2026, because age does not seem to land on it right. The last one took that same used gun argument and made it cheaper, uglier, and a hell of a lot harder to argue with. I almost spent more money to get less gun, and the Beretta 92 FS is what caught me doing it. Big Houston show 2 weekends ago. I walked in with cash and a dumb little plan. Buy something new, clean, striker fired, no history, no last owner, no mystery. Easy choice. Safe choice. Then a used 92 FS stopped me at a table like somebody grabbed my collar. Original box, 3 mags, light wear, not pretty, not trashed. Just enough shine on the edges to prove it had been owned by somebody who actually used it. Tag said $525. That number hit harder than it should have because the flaws were still right there. Big grip, DA/SA pull, slide-mounted safety, more weight than most people want now, a neglected recoil spring, bad mag, tired guide rod, or beat-locking block can turn that bargain into a bill real fast. Seller let me strip it on the table. Barrel looked clean. Locking block looked right. Slide did not have that loose, clapped-out shake. Safety and decocker clicked like they still meant it. Next day, 150 rounds. No hiccup, no drama. Just that old Beretta doing boring work, while the new pistol I almost bought tried to justify its receipt in my head. That is why the 92 FS sits at number 1. Time already exposed the complaints. The used market already punished the price. A clean one still does the job. I did not save money by settling. I almost paid extra to fool myself. That is the test with used guns. Scratches do not scare me. Holster wear does not scare me. A low price with no story behind it gets my attention fast. These 7 still make sense because the used market beat on them. Bad designs get exposed. Support dries up. Magazines vanish. Parts turn into scavenger hunts. These pistols stayed useful. But do not get cute at the counter. Check the mags. Check the springs. Ask why it is there. A used gun can make you look smart, or make you the sucker cleaning up another man's mess. Drop the used handgun you'd buy twice, and the one that burned you. I'm Steve. The next counter mistake always looks clean under glass.